I saw that on LinkedIn though. 27 years. I was like, Matt. Hold on. Let me do the math here. I'm like,
I was 12.
Wait, he's not that old.
I'll be 40 next year. So.
Oh, will you?
Yeah.
Now you'll be
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be
Sorry, I'll be
really old.
I'm catching up on you.
Yeah. You're never gonna catch me.
You don't want to know how old Caleb is.
We're way older than everyone else in the room.
No,
but
he's not. I'm 34.
See, Abigail just
yeah,
turned
I'm
34.
10 years older than
close.
you.
Yeah.
I'm 31.
Yeah, see, you're young.
31.
Caleb?
21.
21? Oh,
Yeah, I know.
What were you doing at 21, Matt? I know what I was doing. Welcome to How to Money with Cole and Cole.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Cole.
We coach people every day on their money and how to plan for the future.
As financial advisors, we're here to have an honest conversation on investing, retirement, and everything in between.
At Full Swing Financial Planning, we're here to empower you to take control of your plan, your way, for your financial future.
So let's talk money.
And sports.
Welcome to How to Money with Cole and Cole. I'm your host, Bailey Ashbrook, sitting here with the boys, Full Swing Financial Planning.
Yeah. By this time
it's in
airs,
full force.
It'll be like 2 weeks out. So that's great.
Yeah. Sitting here with a guest. We're going to get right into it because we feel like we have a lot to talk to him about, and he's a pretty big deal. He is Matt Johnson, the Director of Happiness at Fort Dodge Ford.
well, I appreciate that. You guys are too kind. And big deal, definitely not the case. But I am very grateful to be here, honored and excited for you guys. Congratulations. And just happy to be joining you today.
That's why you're the Director of Happiness.
I
just
try.
feel
Yeah,
happy
I
talking to you.
spread joy. That's
Yes.
my goal in life. So, yeah.
Love the title. Where did the title come from? Let's hear that.
I tell you, and again, as I moved into the role of general manager and owner, and every day we're all busy with tasks and other things. And my job is really to support our team. And if you and I know you guys do such a great job with your clients and if I provide all the tools they need to be successful and a plan to follow that and support them in their journey, and if they're happy when they're doing it, they're going to perform at a high level, take great care of our guests. And obviously happy guests create repeat business and everything works out. So I think sometimes people overcomplicate things. And so when I put on my business card and I said, I'm now Director of Happiness. And I think it changed the mood in the store. And any boards I serve on or wherever I'm at, people say, you're the happiness guy. Yes, that's me.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh,
we should take some notes.
Yes,
Take some notes on this,
was
right?
like, that's my title.
That was like the quote from, and I forget who it was when he was in school, but they said, what's the meaning of life? And he said, I just want to be happy. And the teacher said, no, you didn't understand the assignment. And the student said, no, you don't understand the meaning of life. And it was
That's
kind
a
of
good
that.
one.
And you
that
can feel
reference.
that
So,
when you go into when you go into your
that.
guys' store, your showroom. I mean, you can feel your employees. A lot of activity going on there, and everyone's smiling. Who doesn't love a new car, right?
I was just going to say that between you, your family, Abigail, and every time I go in to get service, everyone is so happy and kind, and that you can do that from top down. That's so important.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And life's short, and
yeah.
you gotta just enjoy every day. And I know you guys do that with your clients, and it's so fun to see the success you've had and what you've done in the community. So I'm so proud and happy for you guys. So it's
Speaking
great.
of community, you guys do a lot of community involvement, and I want to talk about that. First and foremost, the Thanksgiving meal. I think that's probably your biggest community involvement. So maybe tell our listeners, what is that? What does that entail?
So we started in 2008, and I remember we were sitting around, Thanksgiving as a family. We would travel or we'd do something, and we said, there's probably a better way to spend the holiday. And so we had some friends that had dealership in South Dakota, and they served a meal for their employees and some of their good customers. And we said, maybe this is something we can do. And so we kind of sent a note out to our team members and customers and community, said we're going to serve for anybody alone or in need. And we assumed there'd be some people in need. I think the thing that surprised us every year is the people that are alone. So the first year we served about 250 people.
Wow.
And every year it's growing. So last year we served 2,000 meals.
Oh my goodness.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and it couldn't be.
That's a lot of turkeys, man.
That's a lot of turkey. So we do not prepare them.
I know, I'm just
It's just,
teasing you.
oh my God. So Iowa Central Culinary Arts and their program and Chef Michael and the team have been wonderful to work with.
Oh, that's great.
And again, we couldn't do it without their help. And we serve 11:30 to 1:30, and we put a note say, hey, anybody wants to help volunteer.
And this is all at the location.
All
for
at the
that.
dealership, yes.
Yeah.
And so we get 100 people that show up, that give up time with their families on Thanksgiving to help serve.
Wow.
And it is the most rewarding, gratifying day of the year. And I feel like, when you give back or help or contribute, personally, I get back way more, when that day's done and we're sitting with our family later, and that it's just like, gosh, it feels good, and so not only can you make an impact in other people's lives, but selfishly you get it back. And especially the people alone, and we have a lot of elderly in our community and families away, or maybe they see them for Christmas. And so every year we're surprised at people that come in and say, I want to be around people. I don't have anybody to celebrate. The kids have moved away. Spouses maybe passed. And so now we have people that come back year after year to meet each other at the Thanksgiving meal. And
wow.
It's so special. I tell you, it's awesome.
How many, and you don't need to name, I'm sure there's a lot of people and organizations involved, but, bringing people together, said over 100 people help or volunteer. Yep. Is there, I assume that's people outside your organization.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So people in the community just say, hey, what do you need? How can I help? We get pies donated and cider and services, and we have delivery. So 1,000 meals we serve in the showroom, and then 1,000 we deliver to people that can't get out, or obviously we bring to the first responders, and, deliver other areas in the community. And it is so special, and to me, the best thing is, we have volunteers come with grandchildren and parents and grandparents. So to see the generations come, and again, to give up their time to help and to give back is really, really rewarding. And so
the reason I bring that up too is I think from my perspective, seeing, it bring the community together a little bit from the volunteer side. And then it's also, that's contagious of, like you're talking about, the family, generations. Your kids are going to be more, generous or think about the event. So very important too, not just for the people that it's, the benefactors of the event, but also the volunteers to see and share that camaraderie.
And I think sometimes you think of volunteerism, you think of making a donation, which the monetary gift is great. The other piece, any resource that you have, whether it's time or knowledge or assistance for somebody else, we say, obviously time's your only non-renewable income, and giving of that gift to help somebody in a time of need, or when. And a lot of times people are just down on their luck and they need some assistance.
You're getting me excited. Like,
I know.
I'm like, what am I doing this Thanksgiving?
Let's go.
I might
We'll
have
be
to
there on Thanksgiving.
get over there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. And like you said, it filters down too.
Impact.
Leaders are volunteering their time, not only your kids, but other employees and their kids. And so I'm sure it's something that's great. But you also do another Meals on Wheels that has been developed from this meal and Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, and I tell you, the people alone and the elderly that couldn't get out, discovered a need that, deliver a warm, nutritious meal. And I think as important is a safety check on some of these elderly individuals. And so there's 55 or 60 meals a day delivered 5 days a week. So it's about 11,000 meals last year. And so through a variety of people, privatized the program, and it's all run volunteers and donations. And Barb Michaels that oversees the program works at the dealership. And so there's groups of volunteers that bring meals to people every day, partner with Hy-Vee for the preparation.
I've delivered the meals before.
And what was your experience?
It was really cool. I was going through the Leadership Fort Dodge program, and one of the aspects of that program to graduate is to volunteer certain things. And I did that a couple different times, and sometimes it's the only interaction some of those people have. And a lot of them are elderly, and there's a smile on their face when you come to the door.
Yeah. I was just going to say that, like that event, your Thanksgiving, the Meals on Wheels, it's checking a lot of boxes. You're providing meals, you're doing a service, but connection. Like that is probably the biggest thing I take from that is the connection you're giving people. The people that don't have someone to connect with on Thanksgiving, someone getting just to show up their house and that little high, like that impact you are making on the community. Kudos to you guys.
Well, thank you. And I think as humans, that interaction and what you guys do every day, that's what gets
We're
me
meant
excited.
For connection.
Yes, like those bonds that you build with people and what you establish is really meaningful. And and I think when at the end of your life when you're gone, nobody cares what you drove, where you lived. It's how'd you impact people. And people say they don't care what you say, but how you made them feel.
Your presence is a present.
And that emotion and that connection, I think, is really what life's about and what it means, and how everyone can have a positive impact on the people around them. So
Man, you're nailing this director of happiness.
Yeah, he knew he's really in tune with himself.
How committed are you to this dealership? Because we might have a spot for you. Full swing financial planning.
Hey, if it doesn't work, I'll call you. Be my first call.
But speaking of, because you do so much and you are making an impact, and we're excited. That's another reason we branched out and started Full Swing, was we want to start doing these type of events. You do another really big event that I love. It's Bikes for Tykes. So maybe tell our listeners about that.
Well, and again, so we partner with Alpha Media, and they said, hey, there's a need in our community for bicycles for children. And obviously being a parent now, and I know all you guys being parents, I just can't imagine, a child not having any Christmas gift or ever receiving a bike. I remember as a kid how special that was. And so we said, we'd be happy to help. We'll open the showroom. We'll display the bikes, whatever you guys need. And, and so we've gathered about 400 bikes a year.
Wow.
And it goes to Webster County and the surrounding counties. We started the program in 2010. And so we thought, okay, maybe we'll get to a point, it's been about 400 bikes a year, and we get helmets and safety gear and all kinds of things. And we said, well, maybe we'll satisfy the need, and we'll run it 2 years, 5 years, whatever's needed. And here we are, and we're kicking the program off again this year. And there is a tremendous need in our community, and so we will be there as long as the need is there. And people, again, are happy to donate and to help.
I was going to say, how do people get involved?
That's what I
so
wanna know.
it's individuals or businesses, and they can either make a monetary donation or bring a new bike in, and or helmets or safety gear or whatever they want. And probably my favorite story, we had a 7-year-old boy, this was probably 4 or 5 years ago, that had gotten a bike. And he was very grateful, and he just, the joy, most of them they take with. Occasionally the child will come in
and get the
bike in the showroom, and then they disperse the rest of them to the surrounding communities. And so the mom called me the next year and said, hey, my son would like to come in and visit with you. Can we set up a time? I said, absolutely, whatever you need. And so we set up a time, and he came in with his mother. And you could tell, like, when you walked in to show him, he was proud, and he was happy, and he was excited to share something with me. And this was a complete surprise. I had no idea what he was going to say or what he was going to do. And the mom said, well, I just want you, he has something he wants to share. And so we sit in the office, and it was, I could tell this was going to be special. And so he said, Mr. Johnson, I want to let you know, I was so appreciative of getting a bike last year. All of my money that I have earned for doing chores and other things, 7-year-old boy, I've saved, and I want to buy a bike for another child.
That's awesome.
That
is
and
awesome.
I was like, it's one of those things that gives you goosebumps.
Yeah, I was
just gave me chills,
that is such a special moment. And again, and I think those are the reasons we all contribute and give back and do, and like the impact that this had on this young child, and for him to never have a bike to say, you know what, I'm going to say, I want some other little boy to feel
He's
that.
going to carry that with him his whole life.
Like, that is just, I mean, it was really special.
That's awesome.
So so no, we're very blessed, and there's so many people that do so many great things in the community. And a lot of times we get the credit, but it's all the volunteers. It's the other people preparing the food. It's the other people donating the bikes. It's the organizations that help select the families and the children. There are all these people that work tirelessly behind the scenes that don't get any of the credit, and they're really the ones, doing the work and so we're so grateful we live in a community. Something comes up and everybody jumps in and says, how do we help?
People rally.
And it can be for a variety of reasons, and I have never had anybody say, nah, I don't want to help. If you go to somebody and say, hey, we got this coming on, what can you do? I got you, what do you need? And again, that doesn't happen everywhere. And, I know we have a lot of friends that moved to Des Moines or Minneapolis or Chicago or these other areas. They don't have that. And as an individual, if you're passionate about a project or an organization, you can make an impact.
You can really make an impact in small towns.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Where you just can't do that in other places. And so I would say to own a business and raise a family, there's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be.
We talk about that a lot.
Oh, It's so true,
So you do a lot of this. How do you guys decide? Like, how do you guys create these initiatives? Like, do you just sit down as a team? You're like, okay, what are we doing this year? How did the bike, How do you guys evaluate these things?
And I tell you, we try to support and do as much as we can. And a lot of it is just organically. We, like a lot of things, you see, there's a need that comes up and say, okay, how do we put resources together to serve the need? And again, and if anything that if we get to a point, say, okay, that needs served, then we say, okay, what else is out there? And unfortunately now everybody's feeling with inflation and these other things. And, I know giving has dropped and the need has increased. So I think as a community, as a state, as a country, we're in a time where there is lots of need, and I think it's even more important today than it was in any time of our history.
I think we should also tell you people that maybe are from outside or don't know where you guys are located, because people can drop off bikes. Say that again and give the address of where they can do this.
So in the showroom at Fort Dodge Ford Lincoln Toyota. So it's 2723 Fifth Avenue South. In Fort Dodge, Iowa. And again, it's any new bike, from little toddler bikes to teenagers.
Just ask to see the director of happiness.
And I'll be there, and gladly we'll tag who donated the bike, and then they come inventory, and then we'll make selection for the individuals, families that are deserving of a bike. So.
How about families maybe in need? How do they apply for a bike, or how do they go about getting something for their child?
Upper Des Moines Opportunity is the organization that helps. So if a family's in need, they can contact them, and then they have a list of all the bikes and the other things, and then we'll get it to the appropriate child. So,
okay,
yes.
Awesome. So they can go about it that way.
Yep.
Perfect.
Every boy and girl deserves to have something nice under the tree at Christmas, and a few things bring more joy than a brand new bicycle. It's time once again to register for the Bikes for Tykes program. Join Alpha Media, Fort Dodge Ford, WNH Co-op, and R&J Material Handling in bringing a wonderful Christmas to area children. Make a monetary donation. Every dollar counts. Your generous contribution will help purchase new bikes, safety gear, and accessories, so every child receives a bike that's safe and ready to ride. This Christmas, make a miracle happen with Bikes for Tykes.
Are we ready for a little dollars and cents?
Dollar bills, y'all.
This week, or for this episode, our dollars and cents is going to be on the federal. We're talking about gifting, right? Awesome. So the federal gift tax exemption. For most people, probably never heard of that or not. You always hear, people are worried about, paying taxes when someone dies or what that looks like. But in reality, one person's estate is exempt from any inheritance-based taxes as long as that estate is below the current number right now is $12,920,000. So what that means is if Cole Peterson has an estate, of $10 million personally, and it all goes to his kids, his kids are not going to be subject to any estate taxes on those dollars. Now, there are some different implications depending on the types of accounts, things there. And as a couple, that number is $25,840,000.
I think I'm a little under that.
I was like, I better be in the
smidge, just a smidge under.
And why that is important, or why that number, really the annual number is more important for people, which one person any given year can give away up to $17,000 without having to do what's called a gift tax gift tax filing.
And each person can. So I've had this where I've had couples. So the mom and the dad can give $17,000 to one child, which would be obviously $34,000 per year.
Yep. So that is a way, and we're circling this back to the gifting taxation of things. But yeah, that's one of the gifting strategies.
There is tax benefits of being a giver.
Yep.
And that's to individuals. Now there is also a thing where you can give charitable contributions, distributions, things like that. So talk a little bit about that, Cole.
Yeah, so I would say two main strategies that we would tie it in for today for this episode. First one would be qualified charitable distributions. You might hear it. It's called QCDs, and this is something that came about with the Secure Act when the Secure Act is passed. And really, what this is, if you're an individual that has a required minimum distribution, which we've talked about on prior ages, so these would be people that are 70 and above, and they have retirement accounts. And if you have a rather large amount that you have in that retirement account, the government says, hey, you have to take X amount out per year and pay taxes on that. One strategy is doing what's called a QCD, and that would be, say your distribution amount had to be $50,000 for that year. You could take that $50,000 and hypothetically give it all to a church or a qualified organization and not have to pay any income tax on that, where normally if you just gifted out of your bank account, you took the $50,000 distribution from your IRA, you're going to pay whatever your income tax level is on that $50,000, then you're going to give it over to the organization, versus if you gift it directly out of that IRA account to the organization gets the money, and you get the tax benefit of not having to claim that on your income tax.
That's the key. I've had some people not do it that way, the way you're describing. So you have to have the check or the direct deposit, however you're going to send it to them. You haven't made it directly to that organization. You can't have it made to you and then you give it to them.
Yep.
Because then you're going to pay income tax. Now you're going to get to write off what you gave to them on your taxes. But at the same time, to void taxes entirely, you've got to go direct.
Yep, and it's got to be a qualified institution as defined by the IRS. So if you have a question, that make sure you ask your tax person or whoever helps you with your accounting side of your personal finances. But that is one strategy that I think it's fairly new too, because the Secure Act was not 3 or 4 years ago already. Time frames kind of mold in together. But that's something we do see. So if you do have an RMD and you are gifting already, a really great strategy of just changing it and saving that, netting the difference of the income tax amount you'd pay on that dollar amount.
Sounds like a really good reason to work with a solid financial advisor that can walk you through these things.
Well, and what I talked about to clients about a lot of times is, okay, you're already giving to your church, right? Okay, so why not do that through QCD? It's a win-win. They might even get more money from you because you might have to take more from your IRA, and then you don't have to pay taxes on it.
And maybe not, I want to say nerd out a little bit here, but
you
can have on this, because I love the organization of things. But I have some people that actually have checkbooks tied to the retirement account, so because people that's I would say an old-fashioned thing. If people love to write their checks at church every week, and they give, and they go to church, that's a very traditional thing, which I respect, but that's an easy way, because the IRA, anything you write out of there, from an accounting wise, this is all donations.
And we can provide that with accounts from us too.
Yep. So it's a very easy way to do it. So if you're doing it and like to do that way, you can, it's a simple process.
Or you can write a check to Tykes for Bikes.
And I was just going to say that I think, Matt, one thing we didn't talk about, we did a lot of the Ford and your guys' community involvement and what you give back. But one thing you personally give a lot of is time, right? You give a lot of time, and that's your most precious resource. So talk about some of the community involvement and boards you personally do, because we did a lot on the Ford side, and I know you do a lot on your personal side too.
Well, and I just, every time I'm asked to serve, I'm honored. And again, there's so many great organizations in our community. The one organization was previously the chamber I was involved with, and now the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance. And I've just been so proud of the community and the city and the county and the Growth Alliance, really that collaboration and teamwork of everybody coming together. And so I was actually president of the chamber when the merger happened with economic development and the Growth Alliance started. And so it's been so fun to watch that organization grow. And I'm so happy for Astra. And
I've heard she's awesome. I haven't had a chance to meet her yet.
She is spectacular.
We haven't had our ribbon cutting, but we'll see you there.
Oh, she's wonderful. She's a go-getter. And so it's been really fun to serve on that board. And, the Ford Lincoln store in Ames we bought in 2012. And so that's been, has that been 11 years now already? And it's
Time
fun.
flies.
Yeah. And so, when Casey's been down there and working with their community, it's fun to hear people around the state say, boy, Fort Dodge has really got their act together. What's going on there? Because the tendency across countries, everybody's migrating to cities. And some of these rural communities just aren't thriving or surviving. And I think we're the exception. Yet, you look at quality of life and you look at trails and you look at the investment in the community. It is different than where it is around the state or around the Midwest. And I attribute that to really the teamwork and the collaboration of all the organizations putting their egos aside and saying, what do we want as a community? What do we want as a region? And how do we get there? And
there's a lot of people in Fort Dodge that do things to just make Fort Dodge better, not necessarily to make themselves better or make their business better or anything like that. It's to make Fort Dodge better, and it's what I'm hearing from you, and I agree with you.
So true. Yeah,
and you need the leaders in the community that are the business owners, entrepreneurs to continue to drive that.
Yeah.
To drive that,
and not to say, well, this is whoever has the best idea, let's run with that and support them to succeed. And so that has been really fun. Obviously, another thing I'm very passionate about is Friendship Haven, and so both grandma and grandpa were there, and grandpa passed several years ago. And so I've been on their board now and serving the finance committee and the executive committee. And it's fun. And I tell everybody, whatever you're passionate about or have a connection, get involved, and even if it's a mentor at school or it's an organization. The other group that I've had the privilege, and I don't go as much as I should, is PICA. Pride and Community Appearance. And I don't know if you guys have volunteered. So it's Tuesday and Thursday throughout the summer. And most of the people volunteering are retired, and they go 9 to 11. And you say, okay, 2 days a week for 2 hours, how much can they get done? And it is unbelievable. They get 20 or 30 people that show up, and they do beautifications projects and landscaping and cleanup and painting, and it's amazing. And so the power of numbers, even if it's a small time window, but again, people working together, it's phenomenal. And you see the pica signs around the community and all the things.
I volunteer. I've helped
Yes,
on that
it
before.
is-
They clean up the whole Fort
Yeah,
Dodge
we-
Fort.
yeah,
I did the Fort too.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Yep.
is. I'm just, again, and anybody that says, "Oh, you got to give 8," no, it can be just here. Every little bit helps, and the idea is everybody does something. Our community, our region is going to be better, and it's true. And just somebody says, "I don't know how to start." Well, just start. You know, call a friend, call somebody. If you want to know, call me. There's a variety of organizations I can, call the Growth Alliance. I mean, there are opportunities everywhere.
Yeah, you just got to go find
You just
them.
got to do it. Yeah.
So Matt, I know we've talked, you don't like talking about yourself,
I was gonna say the same thing.
we want to bring it back. We off mic, we were talking, we were doing the math of like how long you've been at Fort Dodge Ford. You're like, well, you were pretty young to start there. So talk personally,
Yeah,
kind of
let's
your
talk
story,
about
Sure.
you.
story
Don't blush.
getting to the
So-
director of happiness.
Well, yeah. So we were. I was born in Fargo, North Dakota. So everybody doesn't know I'm from North Dakota, and occasionally I get a little about or boats.
North Dakota.
North Dakota. So sorry about that.
That's
Dad,
awesome.
Yeah, Dad worked for Brunswick, and so we traveled a lot. And so he moved with his job, is working corporate, and so when he got in the car business in '92, worked with my uncle in Waterloo, and we were looking for an opportunity. So in '96, we get the call that say Fort Dodge is open. At the time, it was Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury. I was 12, my brother was 10, so 7th grade and 5th grade. And we jumped at the opportunity. And so it's just been an amazing ride, and I started, people say, what have you done at the store? Well, I started mowing grass and washing windows. And I love my parents. They're very tough on me, which again is good, but we were expected to work. And every year I worked in different departments. So I worked in detail, I worked in the quick lane, I worked in parts. And I tell everybody at the store, I wouldn't ask you to do something either I haven't done or I won't do myself. I'm in the bathroom and, needs toilet paper. You go grab toilet paper. I mean, you walk in, there's garbage, you pick up the garbage. And so it has been so fun to watch our team grow. And, so I graduated from senior high. I went to University of Iowa. And
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
And now we own a business in Ames and I love Iowa State. So
All right.
go Clones.
Go Clones.
And Abigail
We're pro all of them.
And Abigail graduated from UNI. So
Go Panthers. Yeah.
So there you go.
Got all
so
grounds
we have
covered.
all of them covered. Everybody should be happy. Like, as
What do you
director of
think?
happiness.
What do you think
yeah.
Caitlin thinks about that, though? She wants you to be a
well,
Hawk fan.
I am a Hawk fan.
I know, I'm just-
I'm
A little bit
all
of everyone.
three. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can love all
You gotta
of them.
support
It's
the
okay.
whole state.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's like supporting all of Fort Dodge. You got to
Yeah.
support the whole state, right?
You know.
Panthers like cars too,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
absolutely. It's all
Yeah,
good.
just for you guys know, Ford is a car dealership. I don't even know if people, most people know.
We do,
but
yes.
They do sell some cars.
Yes. Sales, leasing, service, quick lane, detail,
Full
body
service.
shop, whatever you need. We're here.
You're very family oriented. You're very leadership oriented. You can tell this was instilled at you as a very young age. And this is always a favorite question of ours is, what's the best tip you can give for someone to have a successful team, to create that culture and keep it alive and keep it growing?
Oh, that's a great question. I think most importantly, get to know the people you work with and genuinely and not like superficially. Get to know who they are as a person and what makes them tick. And I think to me, good leaders have a style in certain people they work well with. To me, great leaders adapt to the individual they work with. And whatever that person needs, and whether it's at work or it's at home, because if they're happy at home, they're happy at work. And if happy at work, they're, better spouse, child, parent, whoever it is. To me, that has been that genuine compassion and care and that human connection and interaction. Say, I'm here, I got you. And I don't care whether you're doing financial services or selling cars or in a factory. People want to feel like they matter and they are important and they're heard. And I think to me in my career, that's really, we sell and service cars. My job is people, in managing teams and setting expectation and supporting them and removing roadblocks and so you talk about the why. And again, mine is happiness and supporting people and watching them grow. And I get more joy out of seeing somebody do something that they didn't think they could achieve. We set a sales goal. I don't think we can get there. Well, okay, today, what do we need to do today? Okay, I got to make these calls. I got to do this. When customers walk in, greet, open the door, welcome.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people focus on the results and, we really should be focused on what are you doing today? And the results follow, and the financial performance follows and all the other stuff. I think sometimes people get it backwards, and
The great Matt Campbell says,
Yeah.
trust the process.
Matt-
yeah, it's so true.
What
Yeah.
a great answer. Like,
I know.
I could listen to you all day long.
For off the cuff, that's as good. Normally, we ask that question every time to our guests.
Usually,
I
people
was
have
not
to pause.
prepared. They did not.
Yeah, there was no preparation.
You can tell it's so natural to you because you genuinely care.
Yep.
And
I do.
think
Yes,
that's the big thing.
And I've had people, high performers, that for one reason or another, it just isn't the right. And I said, and I truly mean this. I tell people, I said, I want you to do what brings you joy in life. And if it's not with me, I will support you in whatever that happens to be. And I sincerely mean that. And again, I think it's important people stay in roles or positions that for other reasons than internal joy, and they burn out or it just doesn't work. And whatever you're doing, again, whether it's volunteer or professional or whatever, find something that gets you excited every morning. Work with people that you respect. All of you work with people that you respect and enjoy. And again, those are the things that are meaning. And when times do get tough, because they will, everything's cyclical, that those people are going to be surrounded with, they're going to have your back. And again, and I think that's what's, gets me excited every day.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Director of Happiness.
Yeah, Matt, this is incredible. Like, this is by far maybe my favorite episode, just listening to you. You're like, we're so excited about our new adventure. This is inspiring to us. I know being community involvement is going to be very important to us. So thank you so much for your time.
You guys are going to knock it out of the park. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
you. I'm so proud to see people succeed and invest in the community. And it's going to be awesome.
We're ready to roll.
Got us all smiling.
Maybe we can.
We'll be there.
The wheel started turning with me. Like, maybe we should partner with you guys on some
Let's
sort
do
of.
it. Yeah, I'm down. Absolutely.
Community involvement.
The more, the better.
Yeah.
That's something we're always talking about is how we can
to serve.
And I've in the multiple organizations that I'm involved, I've used you guys as a reference of like, okay, they have a cause. And I think that's always the first thing, find something you're passionate about.
Correct.
So always trying to figure out and how you can help and make that impact for people. So thanks, Matt, for coming.
Thank you for being
here.
No, I'm honored that you guys asked and thought about me. And again, I just couldn't be more happy and excited for all of you and your future success. So it'd be fun to watch you grow.
Thanks, Matt.
If you're a loaner and need this Thanksgiving, Fort Dodge Ford Toyota wants you to join us for our annual Thanksgiving dinner, served in our showroom on Thanksgiving Day from 11:30 to 1:30. If you don't have a way of getting there, don't worry. Your friends at Fort Dodge Ford will deliver the food to your door as long as you live within the city limits. Just call 576-7505. That's 576-7505. Don't spend Thanksgiving alone this year. Come to the annual complimentary Thanksgiving dinner at Fort Dodge Ford Toyota.
Well, I'm so excited for you guys in your new adventure. Can you tell everybody?
Yeah. Full
website
Swing
address, what you
Financial
got going on?
Planning.
Yes.
We are at 1725 First Avenue South.
Boom,
right under the bridge, by the bridge, right?
By the bridge.
Yeah, by the bridge. Yeah.
Not far from you guys. Our website is fullswingfinancial.com, and we're on social media, and we are right where we need to be here, helping Fort Dodge and our surrounding communities.
Absolutely.
Matt, I'd like to ask everyone this real quick. I forgot. Who's your favorite athlete?
My favorite athlete, I'm going to have to say Mr. Cole Jaski.
Oh, great answer.
But,
Man,
I don't
come
know.
on.
But
I went to
could
Fort
pick
Dodge
Cole,
Senior High with you.
And I could kick all three of you
I'm
are
blushing.
spectacular.
I'm blushing.
He is red.
I'm
Athletes.
blushing.
Maybe I was vertically challenged, and so Cole's football and golf both you guys, your golf prowess, and I don't know. But
We gotta get
you're
you
a
golfing.
talented athlete
We're
as well.
lefties.
It's like picking your favorite kid. I don't know if that's fair.
I got one.
Yeah, I got one.
Bella or Max.
But I will say this, your kids and your wife, you guys all implement that joy, and you can tell you are really family valued as well. So
Good
I
leaders.
appreciate that.
Well,
great
thank
leaders.
you. And again, all of us have great support systems and families and spouses and children. And it's, again, that's not by accident. So congratulations to all of you as well.
You can't do it without that.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
There are only two options regarding commitment. You're either in or you are out. There is no such thing as life in between. Pat Riley.
Go Cubs.
You've been listening to How to Money with Cole and Cole, the podcast of Full Swing Financial Planning. To learn more, visit their website at www.fullswingfinancial.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn.
For now, I'm Cole,
I'm Bailey.
And I'm Cole.
and we'll see you on the greens.
4. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.